been a little bit of a push lately for countries like to start their own cryptocurrencies. Probably because they see not only just the technology that can be intertwined with it, but I believe the control that can be implemented into it. And there are a few that have already embarked on this and tried to start it out, and they're the ones kind of walking the road, right? Starting it out for everybody to get it fleshed out. Like in Dubai in 2017, they've already started with Mcash, and I mean, the one thing that I've noticed with crypto articles, man, I don't know if you have, but they're always only like a few paragraphs, and they're really like rehashing the same information over and over again within these paragraphs, if you can call them paragraphs. I mean, a lot of them are one or two sentences. And I mean, because like I saw this one the other day, and this is what got me to look into this a little bit more about all, and I had already heard about all the countries trying to make theirs, and the couple that had, like Dubai and Venezuela. Estonia was on the verge, and I think the EU kind of shut the door on that. They don't want no competition, right? And and like, this is the one that got me in, and I read through it, and I was like, man, there's like really no information in here. I mean, the who, what, when, where, and why, right, is kind of slim pickings here. I mean, look, this is one sentence, a quote, if you can call that a sentence, and then another quote, one more sentence, and then a space, and then another sentence, right? And then it goes into a whole nother, I guess, another article here on the same topic. But at any rate, I mean, that just goes to show you that this whole crypto space, it's a fresh area. It's being fleshed out. People are filling it out. The people that are in it, and I'm not trying to downplay any of these people that are doing their work here. Any of these journalists, that's what they're called nowadays, because they're just on the internet. But these people writing articles, okay, let's put it that way. And I mean, this is all fresh to everybody. This is a whole brand new space. I know they've been writing articles for years, but I mean, I figured we would be better than this. And I've noticed that, for a while. And at first I thought it was, it's brand new. But I mean, we're years in now. I think we need to evolve past that. At any rate, I started ranting there. But Mcash was the first one. And it tells you how the future coin for future city, and that kind of tells me that other things are going to be tied into it. Maybe like your property, taxes, the title itself could be tied up in there if it's like a smart contract type coin. It doesn't really break down like what kind of coin it is. I mean, can citizens mine this in their basement, or what? I mean, it doesn't really break that down. On some of the other ones it does, that they're trying to come out with, like Sweden's, which I'll touch on in a second. But it runs off its own blockchain network, which is designed for various financial transactions in Dubai, which tells me that other things are going to be put on there: taxes, property taxes, stuff like that. Maybe especially in a country like Dubai. I mean, it's a really ritzy city, right, and country, and there's a lot of money in there, and it's been up and running for a little bit, it looks like, but I mean, we really haven't heard nothing about it, right? I mean, the information, slim pickings. Believe me, I looked, and like, I don't know anybody that has a wallet with it in there or anything like that, or nobody's ever reached out to me. I've never seen anybody on a forum talking about all the Mcash that they're holding, and so I don't know. I'm not quite sure how that one works, and if it is even really just up and running, or still just an idea, or I mean, it says they launched it already in 2017. Says they're still obtaining approvals from the UAE authorities, will be taken into consideration if required. But at any rate, I mean, you move on to like Venezuela, and they're having some issues with theirs. And it was originally supposed to be backed with 5 billion barrels of oil, and it looks like they're trying to scale that back. And just came out November 21st, so last month. They're scaling that back down to 30 million barrels, backing the entire blockchain, I guess. And and it says that it's because of U.S. sanctions. I mean, that's a steep drop off from U.S. sanctions, 5 billion to 30 million. I mean, I don't know. Maybe socialism has something to do with that. I don't know. Call me crazy. I mean, you always end up running out of other people's money, right? And then there's Estonia tried theirs, and it was going to be put onto Ethereum. And theirs was going to be put onto Ethereum. They were going to run an ICO. They're going to run an ICO and have a token sale as well for that one. And so it running off Ethereum tells me that there's going to be some smart contracts tied into that. Because why else would a government want it? Not only to have a new coin for a new currency for your country, right? But a coin that can also tie in to bring in the social aspects of a society, right? And bring in the tax implications, like I had said. And then you can even tie in parking tickets up in there, and here's my smart contract, and it ticks down until if I don't pay it, and bam, the warrant's issued, right? If I do pay it, it kills that end of the, we both agreed on that end of the smart contract, and it's done, right? You can put anything on there. So I could see that working a lot for a government, which I've talked about in other videos about how I could see this going one way or another with cryptocurrencies, and we need to be vigilant of that, because this could spiral out of control. This could, I don't think it will turn into utopia, but it could turn into something that could help each and every person out there that maybe, if they have their own personal blockchain, right, and their own personal bank, right? Remember it was banking the unbanked and all that kind of stuff when it first came out. And well, I mean, it remains to be seen the way things are coming out, and I see all these countries, and that's why I put the clone wars, because everybody's coming out with their own crypto, and yeah, they have a few tweaks here, a few tweaks there, right? But they're all pretty much under the same guise, right? If a country is making a cryptocurrency, it's to encompass you and control. It's to control you. What other purpose would it be for them, right? If they were going to make it have their own national currency, what does that do? It puts control over its citizenry. So, I mean, I know they're all going to try to compete with Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies out there that serve a purpose. And there are other cryptocurrencies that do all of these things that they're trying to do. There's already coins out there or coming out that can do all of these things that they're trying to implement. So that tells me that there's a lot of fear involved in this as well. But believe you me, there has to be. For somebody to be holding that much power, I mean, a lot of these people are power hungry individuals, the majority of them. And yeah, there are people trying to actually do the right thing, but they're few and far between. And they want control, plain and simple, cut and dry. Why else would each one of these countries be doing it? I mean, they're racing to it. Russia, the crypto ruble, right? When I first read it, I thought it said crypto trouble, and I squinted my eyes. I guess it was the same, crypto ruble. And there's, they say, the U.S. sanctions is behind that one. They want to skirt them. They want to skirt the U.S. sanctions, plain and simple. They're also trying to, I would assume, they're trying to tie it in with their little BRICS thing that they got going on with China and Brazil and some other countries that are trying to get up in there, right? India. Isn't it India? I think it's India. At any rate, Sweden, the Krona, is that what that said? Yeah, Krona. And that's the one that's going to be run on IOTA. And I thought that one was pretty interesting, because it's going to be run on IOTA, and it says it's not mineable and to implement a national cryptocurrency with IOTA. But before the Nordic nation goes full cashless, the risk bank stressed several issues that a national cryptocurrency would have to address. And yes, there are plenty of issues that you would have to address. So I think that these things are still on the the ground floor. They're still in the incubator stage here. I don't think anything's really ready for full-on implementation. Because I know the United States would love to, or not even the United States, probably the Federal Reserve would love to tokenize the U.S. dollar, and or actually the Federal Reserve note, right? And that way they could print that into oblivion, right? There's no stopping that. I mean, they're already doing it anyway, right? And but I mean, there's a bunch of countries jumping in. Japan, the J coin. They want to launch that one before the 2020 Olympics. And all of these have their own little twists on them. And I don't see them. I mean, this one's running off IOTA, which is already an existing cryptocurrency, right? And this was what we'd all seen cryptocurrencies doing in the future, but not at a governmental level, right? It was all supposed to be in individuals, citizenry's level, and it seems like it's morphing into something different, and hopefully things can be curtailed here. I mean, it can be squashed on this, because I mean, I know this is a young space. I mean, just looking at the articles, I mean, when I mentioned about the articles, how they're written and stuff, I mean, this tells you how young this industry is, and how much more growth there needs to be within this industry in order for it to help everybody, like we had originally heard of, in the Nakamoto white papers, right, or white paper, and what the original concept and dream was, because it's a dream. It still is. It hasn't come into effect, right? And when India, China, the U.S., UK, Ecuador, Canada, Israel, when all those countries which are looking into making their own cryptocurrency, when they all jump in the fray, and everybody's battling with each other to see who's going to come up with the ultimate cryptocurrency that will tie everything together, taxes, the criminal aspect, like I told you about the parking tickets or whatever, and that could go into felonies. You could put everything on there, right? Property taxes, titles could be on there, your car titles. They can know every single car that you ever owned. They have to be put on the blockchain. No more those guys that jump titles, right, and sell cars off of Craigslist and offer up and all that all day long. They won't be able to do that anymore, because it'll all be digitized, and it'll have to be linked to a person. You'd probably have to pay somebody to I need you to put 2 cars on on your blockchain, right? On your blockchain address, and I'll pay you to put, a couple on there, because I already used up my limit for the year or whatever it might be. And I mean, those are just things that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, and you could imagine how many more things. And I mean, and they have teams of people thinking all this stuff up, and you can imagine all the other things that are going to be tied in with this, that are going to be implemented and it's never going to be in your favor. I mean, the government's never out there the government's never really just coming just to help. I mean, yeah, they may help in some aspects, right? But that's not what they're always created for. I just see it as a danger, and these are the type of things that they don't keep me up at night, but these are the kind of things that worry me for the future of cryptocurrency. And I think it could be polluted and corrupted by the government, and changed into and morphed into something that we didn't expect it to be. It's something that we weren't looking forward to, we weren't expecting, we weren't if we weren't vigilant enough to curtail this. I mean, we have to. I don't know what the answer might be for that, to avoid this. but I think that they're scared, and they know that they need to implement their own and just do it their own way. And they'll eventually, because there are already countries that have done it, they'll make them illegal, make cryptocurrencies illegal. They'll make it illegal to possess them, to purchase them, to sell them, and then where will we be? Using theirs, right? And I hope it doesn't get to that point. I know that the privacy coins are going to make a big jump here coming up as we transition into this state, because we're in limbo right now. And I mean, like the taxes issue that's coming up here in the United States, and they put out 2 different amendments in there, and I mean, it's all fuzzy and gray. And I've talked to a couple of tax specialists and accountants, and like the lady that usually does my taxes, she doesn't even want to touch it. I might have to go somewhere else this year. And she's like, it's so gray and nebulous that she goes, I'm afraid I'll get audited and along with you, and then what do I do? You know, she doesn't want to lose her license, right? And which I don't blame her. I wasn't upset or anything like that. I was just like, wow. I mean, if they don't know, then how's the average person out there supposed to know? That's just, you know, snagging up some crypto, doing a couple trades on their off day or whatever. How are they supposed to know? And maybe these cryptos that are coming out to these different countries will be there a way to regulate and suppress all of that. Maybe it won't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong, and I hope I am. You know, shoot a comment down there. Tell me how I'm wrong. I would love to hear it. Believe me, I would love to continue the dialogue. Tell me I'm wrong in any of my videos that I do. You could tell me how I'm wrong, and I would love to hear your point of view. And like I said, expand the dialogue. And if you can talk me into your point of view, I will change my opinion if I see enough facts and evidence to the contrary to what I'm hearing and seeing and reading. Okay, but in the meantime, we have to just go with this and not, you know, roll with the punches, and we'll see how it goes. But it could be a bumpy ride. It could be smooth sailing. I'm just reporting what I see, and these are the things that I think about when I think of cryptocurrency, and some of the reasons why I do some of like the pictures and stuff that I do, and other things that you might know about that you haven't found or whatever. And that's one of the reasons why I do with some of the stuff that I do, because I do see a bright future with cryptocurrencies. But I do want to be, I don't want to be thinking that, I don't want to be sitting here thinking that everything's going to be crimson and clover, you know, rainbows and what is that, chutes and ladders and Candyland. That's not reality. And I don't know, I look at everything with the jaundice eye. I always look at the flip side of everything, and I want to weigh my options and see what the good and the bad of everything is, and try to find something in between. And I know that we're going to have to give up something on this. So, well, hopefully this is a little more informative. Hopefully you go out and do some research and see what's going on with these other cryptocurrencies, these country currencies, cryptocurrencies, and, you know, shoot some comments. Tell me how I'm wrong. Shoot me some articles to read or something like that, or a book or whatever, and show me how I'm wrong. Hopefully I am. I hope so. Until the next time, thanks for listening. Subscribe, share me on BitChute, Minds, PocketNet. Just share me, if anything. If you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing. And keep digging. You know what I mean. If you hear me, you know what I'm talking about. Thanks, guys.